Immortal Gates of Pyre has been significantly expanded and improved in the latest version I played, and because of it I am starting to think their team meetings begin with someone asking what features do we want to implement next, and the rest of the team just smiles and says yes. Previously, when I showcased this indie-developed base-building RTS, it had Age of Mythology-like characters with big spells and creep camps to power set abilities. Additionally, the armies had really well thought-out armor and weapon systems, fleshed-out tech trees, automatic base building and unit production options, along with parallel production queues and so much more. Recently, Sunspear Games showed up to Steam's Summer Next Fest with a ton of improvements and new features, and their hard work shows, with new models, units, maps, and a new hero character. Their version of heroes, Immortals, remind me a lot of StarCraft's co-op commanders in that they are tied to a specific faction and bring unique abilities and units to the table, altering your strategies and playstyle. Considering this is a fantasy-themed RTS, these characters fill the role of godlike commanders, allowing players to change the tide of battle if applied timely and accurately on the battlefield. Immortals are also the face of the game's narrative and lore, which is extensive with entire planets, languages, and histories teasing future content. I hope you will dig into their website and Discord, as there is a lot to read and see. Check in the description of this video for the links to this gem in the making. Immortal Gates of Pyre features a mixture of hero categories, ranging from on-the-battlefield hero units to more Age of Mythology style commanders. In previous builds of the game, there were 3 commanders, the Archangels Orzum and Ajari and the Root Witch Mala, with Zol being the only temporary hero. The Next Fest build added Azlan, Prophet of the Roots, as a permanent hero with strong positional gameplay. When chosen, Azlan starts the match in your base, and you lose him only when the structure he is presiding over drops to 0 HP, after which you can revive him for a small amount of Pyre, the game's namesake resource that powers all immortal abilities. You get a small trickle of Pyre at all times, but most of it comes from killing creeps and capturing objectives, which encourages you to stay active on the map and constantly clash with your opponent instead of just turtling. Unlike other root witches, Azlan is specialized in spreading the rootway, his faction's type of terrain covering, much like the undead in Warcraft 3, increasing his awareness and powering up special units, the agile and stealthy skirmisher, the Root Shepherd, and the heavy artillery plant mech, the Resonant. Azlan can also use Pyre to create barriers to defend your units or cut enemy forces in half, making him tricky to attack into. Lastly, he can summon a giant root worm thing that eats armies, but it's tied to the rootway. Another big new feature is the inclusion of the frequently requested versus AI. Yes, that's right, bots are now part of the latest playable version. Not only can you play against AI in 1v1 or 2v2 deathmatch skirmishes, but also use them in play in the PvP co-op mode, which has new missions and maps. The latest version of these AI bots have 6 difficulty levels, going from very easy to hard and ending with the Immortal difficulty, which is quite fitting considering this game's title. I should point out here that the developers want the AI to cheat as little as possible, but that will require more work on it. Also, players are going to be prevented from cheating because this game does all padding server side. It makes map hacks really hard, hopefully impossible to create, while it might mean that responsiveness could be reduced depending on how the developers handle the technical side of this. If they give it the same level of quality as they have done with the looks of the units and buildings or the amazing sounds and music, I think we won't feel any problems with it. I simply love their creativity with how units look, their animations for moving and attacking, as well as their many alternative states and magic missiles. A big battle between 2 or 4 armies quickly starts looking like a high-budget movie battle scene, provided of course you zoom in and enjoy it. Other features which left the most lasting impression on me and took some getting used to at the start are the unit production buildings, which increase your population cap, while also giving you more potential production slots. The devs have done away with supply buildings completely, while builder units automatically go to construction sites and also automatically go back to their original jobs like harvesting. The second feature, which took some getting used to, is instant casting. What I mean by this is that when you press the corresponding hotkey for an ability, it is cast to the point your mouse is at. This turns what was once 2 clicks action into just 1. In a similar fashion, the abilities bar and its UI section has been simplified because when you select your army, the active abilities of all selected units are available on the command card. There is no need to use the tab key, for example, to switch between unit types to cast individual abilities. Other new RTS games are starting to use similar UI and micro features to speed up and simplify command and control of armies and units. And I think this is something Tempest Rising would have benefited from too. But that is another story and another design philosophy. Luckily, the tutorial in Immortal Gates of Pyre is one of the best I have ever played. Developers did an amazing job teaching first-time players how to build, recruit, fight and expand, and I can just say it is a new bar by which I will be judging future game tutorials by. There is of course more under the hood of the game, not hidden but also not very obvious, like the combat mechanics of armor and weapon damage, which is something players should learn by experience and which also sets players apart by their skill level and know-how of the game. But probably the main beginner-friendly feature is the one I showcased before in my videos on Immortal Gates of Pyre, and that is the AI-assisted automatic base building and unit recruitment, that you can even customize and change during the match. That way you can explore the game, get into massive fights, all the while picking up small tips about base building and unit composition from your very own AI assistant. This is also a feature that is showing up in more and more games, but it is a double-edged sword, as it can lead to players not knowing some of the basics and having a bad understanding of the endgame because of it. This is the main reason I, for example, turn off automated and AI-assisted villager resource collection for my son when he plays Age of Mythology Retold. I know he is only 6 and that I'm making it harder for him, but after about 30 skirmish matches versus the AI, he now has a surprisingly good grasp of RTS gameplay, despite not knowing how to read, let alone understand all the English in the game. I would love to read your thoughts and comments about these topics of beginner-friendly features in the comment section of this video or in my Discord, a link to which you can find in the description of this video, along with links to other videos about this and other similar games. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all happy gaming.